Hi, Gemini. What happened? What happened? If you're upset and giving up already, we're gonna have a problem because 2020 is when the North Node comes into our sign. Do you remember what it was like when Cancer was about to receive the North Node? Do you remember how many things Cancer had to fix and how painful it was so that when they got to their exaltation, they were worthy of it? Do you remember when I said that that would happen to us too? Do you remember when I said that it would happen to us too? Do you remember when I said that there were broken pieces that couldn't make it, that we couldn't take with us to the North Node? Do you remember me saying how we should already start cleaning house because it was going to be too much otherwise? That's okay if you don't. Three of Swords. Like I said, what happened? Oh, well, he, she, them, they were interested, and then they just weren't. But what happened? What is it? What did I do wrong? Like, I finally thought it was gonna work and I really like this person. So even though I know you're telling me about like the North Node and blah, blah, I really don't need that right now. Really don't need that right now. Gemini. It's because you're letting yourself get caught up. You're getting caught up in thought bubbles and thought loops about the wrong things. You're speaking out and taking a stand and making an issue of the wrong things because you're doing it from a place of immaturity. And if you don't mature, every obstacle, if you don't at least approach it from the vantage point of maturity, you don't have to actually mature if you don't want to, but at least act like it. If you don't, you will choose the wrong battles. And choosing the wrong battles will bring you here. I know it sounds impossible in whatever situation you're in right now, that if you were just a lot more chill and had a lot more faith in the person and the situation, that you wouldn't be as upset as you are and you wouldn't have taken so many missteps already. But you don't have to believe me on that. It is true though. I myself had a great opportunity to completely screw things up in my romantic life a couple of weeks ago, and instead of taking the wrong step, I took the right step, which was enforcing a boundary, but in the most casual way. Listen, I have certain boundaries that I just can't compromise, but because we don't really mean anything to each other, I don't feel the need to share that with you. Instead, I just would rather not speak to you anymore. I hope you understand. It's really just for my own safety, because I think I'm falling in love with you and you're obviously in a completely different place, which is okay. And I really hope you enjoy that. But I can't be a part of it because I feel differently. But I'll be all right. I just, think we should dead it. I could have been like, who the fuck did you think? And I wish I could say it was like one or the other of the twin that had done it, but it wasn't. It was like a moderator. It was like the prep for the North Node already has grabbed me, like, oh, we have to be adults now. Okay. To a Gemini, it's like being an adult. It's like being a pirate. Like, it's just another, suit to throw on. Sure, you want to be an adult? Okay. I will adult you. So what I was saying was, I'm gonna adult you so hard, you'll never forget it. When we put this particular suit on, we're gonna be really good at it. But there are sacrifices that everyone needs to make for the North Node, and we have to make them now. The bottom of the deck is the Hierophant and the Knight of Pentacles. This is a very slow Jupiter and Capricorn, Uranus and Taurus energy. Slow and then really chaotic. Slow and then really chaotic. What's gonna happen? Oh my God. And then, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. This is like, not in a million years did I ever think this thing from the past was gonna come back like this. Wow. But to go from Three of Swords and the Judgment in reverse to the Knight of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune is just another way of illustrating that even though this coming year is full of ups and downs and cliffhangers and oh my God, I can't even believe it. This is like a movie. It's still going to leave you right where you need to be, which is basically sitting on a throne, you know, and while you're being anxious, while you're being unsure, while you're demeaning yourself with doubt and despair, your throne that you're supposed to take in May 2020 is sitting empty. The proverbial throne is empty. Your prep isn't supposed to be about mourning the loss of somebody's attention or mourning the loss of being in their good graces or somehow wanting to really inflict harm on yourself because of rejection that you can't control. Not that you can control any rejection, but Geminis aren't used to getting rejected. So when we do get rejected, we really 100% believe that it's our fault. And that if we could have just put a few more hats on and done a few more things and been even more accommodating, that it wouldn't have happened. And that's just not true. So up until now, it's been fine to think all these things that aren't true, but you can't be that way when you're about to sit on the throne of the moon. You know, you're the vacuous parts of you, the parts we hold on to, the Elle Woods part of us, it's just gotta go. And I think a lot of us think that our charm and our youth is intrinsically tied to acting like idiots, and it's not. You will still be bubbly, you will still be cute, you will still look super young, you'll still be really attractive. You just won't be a loose cannon. And that is what this coming year is about. It seems like cliffhangers and really excitable moments and lots of ups and downs, really extreme ups and downs, but really it's just preparation to wear a pretty heavy crown. A crown of emotional intelligence that doesn't make you or doesn't let you make the same emotional mistakes again and again. It's over that time of almost, willing yourself into sadness and just mulling a situation over in every way possible, from every angle, with every permutation, until you have no choice but to be completely miserable. That is what we're not allowed to do anymore. That, getting rid of that stuff, purging the toxicity, is what will seem like cliffhangers and crazy moments. But if you know what they are and you get in front of it, this is just as easily being heartbroken, feeling very alone, feeling misunderstood, and then boom, another air sign comes out of nowhere. Boom, Wheel of Fortune, they just want to give you everything. Boom, the Hierophant, they're serious, they want to get married. Knight of Pentacles, boom, slow down, slow down, slow down. And then Maybe some of you are already there. Well, I already met the person. It is a Taurus, or it is another air sign, or it's this Knight of Pentacles, but now I'm doing this. Help. No, you're not doing this. You're doing, well, it's the same thing. Wow, that's annoying. You're doing this. This is what you're prone to do when left to your devices and not paid enough attention to. That's one of the things that 2020 doesn't appreciate and would rather you give up. For whose benefit? For your own benefit, dear Gemini. You're the one who needs companionship, and companionship is not possible when you are addicted to this cycle. You just can't. You can't be happy long enough to make anyone else happy in that cycle. Now, people from the past coming back, especially people or situations that you thought, never in a million years, not under any circumstances, am I ever going to run into this person? Am I ever going to need something from this person? That person comes back. That energy comes back, and I think it's good for you. Usually I'm like, oh, the ex is toxic or the past is toxic. But I think it's good for you because it's going to remind you of who you are. And it looks like you could use that. Wow, you guys really are not feeling well. Of course, I can see it. Of course, it's, you know, the betrayal, the hurt. Was there cheating? Was there lying? I was told stuff. I found out later it wasn't true. Oh my God, I feel so isolated. Oh my God, did I do this to myself? Oh my God, why didn't I tell anyone? Why did I just keep pushing through with it? But don't worry. The sun is going to come out. And it's going to bring with it some beautiful, beautiful things. And it will be great. But there are some major ghosts here. And I think the ghosts are the ones that cause the real pain. That causes the real pain that makes you isolate and isolate and isolate. So even if there was nothing, you know, relatively that wrong, now all of a sudden you have this huge problem that has to be solved. And it's because you avoided it and avoided it. But I think 2020 wants you to start getting the gunk out right away. So even a few days into December and it's already like doing its work, like these patterns, Gemini, are not okay because someone doesn't want to talk to you, because someone is upset with you, because someone doesn't want to be with you. This level of despair is not okay because someone else has a different opinion from you on something, even if it's about you. You still need to be able to acknowledge that something is off. So this is the bottom of the deck, and then I think we should look at the cards, because I think looking at the cards in this one is much more important than you like looking at me. We need to look at these cards because everything that you're feeling, although it is valid, you have to know things are going to change, and they're going to change again, and they're going to change again, and they're going to change again, and we got to get used to it. And every time something feels like it's going well and then you fall on your face, just get back up. You gotta get used to it. Fall down, get back up, because if you don't, your throne is vacant. If your throne is vacant, someone else is going to sit on it. The North Node is being given to you, your throne. If you do not get it together, your throne will be vacant, and I assure you someone will come and sit on it. And when you say, excuse me, you are sitting in my seat, they're gonna say, then why weren't you sitting in it? Let's look at these cards, yeah? Love you. Hi, Gemini. I would just like to share something with you for a moment. before we get into this. Although I know the reading's really important, and yes, it's deep, and we're about to do it right now, I promise. Whenever I feel like something I'm doing isn't quite fun anymore, which really does tie into the reading and what does it mean to be an adult, and do you have to sacrifice fun for freedom? Do you have to sacrifice fun and freedom for security and responsibility and success, and perhaps even partnership? And I gotta tell you, no matter what area of life I'm working in, no matter what aspect of my life we're talking about, there's something about Gemini energy, whether it's being around another Gemini, it's talking about Geminis, talking to Geminis, just exploring my own Gemini traits, that completely recharges my batteries and it makes everything fun again. And I can't really put my finger on what it is that is so incredibly fun and cool about us, but I think it may have everything to do with the fact that we're mutable air. We are the air that you breathe. We are the air that comes in and out of your lungs. You can't hold on to us because if you do, you'll die. You need us to come and go. We need the winged messenger to come and go. We need him to be able to traverse the underworld and the heavens. And the people in the heavens and the people in the underworlds need him to not stay in one place, to constantly be in flux, because without him and without us and without mutable air, the messages don't get passed. Now, of course, the message in and of itself has a lot of validity, but what good is a message that cannot be conveyed? It is on our backs through our intellect that the universe chooses to communicate. That makes us, of course, unique, as is everyone, I suppose. But more than that, it makes us vital and important to this human system. So the next time someone tries to tell you that you are too extra or too talkative or too anything, and relates it somehow back to some toxic narrative about you being a Gemini, you let that person know that without our mutable air, without our wit, without our unique mix of intelligence based in IQ and emotional intelligence, EQ, without us integrated beings, y'all wouldn't be able to talk to each other. It's when you know what message is out there that you can get on message. It's when you know what style is coming next that you can follow the trend. Gemini doesn't wait to hear the message. Gemini is the message. Gemini doesn't wait to follow a trend. Gemini is the trend. And am I doing this just to hype you up? No, those are facts. The year is going to be tough. It's full of incredible ups, really, really important things that are going to leave you by the end of the year feeling like, whew, yes. And in other aspects, you're going to feel like, whew, no, I'm done with this. And I suspect for most of us, if we don't get on top of it, it'll be related to work, because as ironic as this may seem right now in the state you're in, love is the thing that works out pretty well. It's the kind of love, quote unquote, that we like to work out. You know, it's our type of working out. There's a lot of time, there's distance for one reason or another. There is a lot of going back and forth about previous pain. There is so much in 2020 that refuses to give up until you come out of your cave and take your place on this throne. Now, with Uranus in your 12th house, I don't envy you because I'm a 12th house sun, so Uranus isn't in my 12th house, it's in my 11th house. I don't envy you the particular unease of having Uranus wreaking havoc in your subconscious. And this Absolutely. It looks like a spread for someone who is going through some unconscious or subconscious acrobatics. It looks as if every fearsome, toxic, long-held belief that you have, much like the Capricorn reading, it might behoove you to watch that because it's all about psychocybernetics. This year is also all about psychocybernetics, which is why we started reading it last year. Do you see how everything I'm saying has a theme, Gemini? Prep. You have to do the prep for everything. You know how this feels up here, right? You know how it feels to be stuck in something. You want to talk, but you can't. There's nothing you can say because the other person hasn't really said nothing. You're in kind of a bind because it's like, is it official? Is it not official? Can I say? Can I not? Do I have the power? Do they have the power? Nobody's saying nothing, but here I am feeling terrible. First, we have to get out of that space. And trust me, when you get out of it, you're going to run out of it. And it's going to be beautiful. And there's a lot of wealth involved. This is not a small coincidence, if there is such a thing. There's a lot of money here and a lot of security. Now, if you're dealing with a Taurus specifically, the earth signs are really putting you through it. Ooh, if you a Gemini moon or a Gemini rising, especially the earth signs got you. They got you. They got you. And I'm not real sure why, as soon as the earth sign has you, they decide that this is the best thing to do with people. I don't get it. But again, the cards are there to let you know, oh yeah, the worst of the worst, sure. The feeling is there, but also the best of the best. Never think when something quote unquote unpleasant happens that something of equal measure that is pleasant will not also happen. That's just the law of the universe. That is the promise. Right? So whenever I see this come up, I'm like, oh yeah, well, which is why I'm saying when you're here, and a lot of what the cards are saying is that you are here by your own device. You want those twins to fight each other? Go ahead. You ever see someone want to fight a Gemini? They don't. You want to fight yourself? You know what you're getting into? You know how dirty that fight is going to get if you start fighting yourself? You want to leave that for the other mutable signs to do to each other? Because we're not those guys. Are we Virgos now that we're going to duke it out with ourselves and waste all our time in our heads and never get anything done and have everybody looking at us crazy? Like you have all these standards and you want, but you don't do nothing. Do you want to be those people? Do you want to be Sagittarians and just think you know everything and just go running off into the night, getting into dumb shit? Do you want to do that? And not have the other twin looking out for you and going, excuse me, what the fuck exactly do you think you're doing? You want to be that? Or do you want to be a Pisces and just chase your own tail in two different bodies, day in, day out, day in, day out? I don't know why I feel this way. I don't know why I feel this way. I don't know why I feel. Is that what we want? Because that's what it looks like you're doing. And I promised myself before I came on here that I was not going to yell at you because it's like yelling at yourself. But you know what? The more I look at this, the more I'm like, come on. Because listen, when you did it last year and the year before and the year before, and when I say you, I mean me. When you did it before, it was cute. Let's say that again. But let's bring it back to that Elle Woods thing. It was cute. Now, like you're supposed to take power. You're supposed to take the throne. It's not cute when someone is supposed to take the throne and they're doing this. Like you know what I mean? It's not cute. It's not playful. It's not funny. Haha. It's not funny. Weird. It's just what the like. But again, the beautiful thing about us is that if you point this out to us, boom, every one of you that just heard that went, boom, I got you. I get exactly what you mean. And I didn't mean to dog those other signs. But you know how when you talk to your parents and your parents, like, they'll talk to you about their cousins or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to dog anybody else, but I'm talking to you as a Gemini to other Geminis. Do you want to be those other signs? Do you want to get stuck in those traps? Listen, we got our own traps that we get stuck in. For sure. But let me tell you, baby, this ain't one of them. That's not us. And all the cards are doing is giving you an indication of what you can work on now. Look, that wave is going to come, that wave is going to come, that wave is going to come, that wave is going to come. How many different apparatus do you need to handle this ocean? Because there's a lot of abundance and a lot of pearls and a lot of gold here that we would really like to pick up, get in between these waves and pick that stuff up and be on our way. But there's also a lot of real sharp coral reef here. And when it cuts, it's going to cut you right to the bone. So what do you need to do? You need to be prepared. How do you need to be prepared? Emotionally. What does that mean? That means that no matter what happens, you don't do that. Because you know that no matter how much you feel for someone or how much they feel for you or how good it is or how good it was and now it's not and never will be and oh God, what am I going to do? No matter any of that, regardless of any of that, you, my dear, are still who you are. This is the lesson of 2020. So now try and understand how many different ways the universe is going to try to teach you that lesson if you don't want to learn it nice. If the universe, what it wants to teach you is that you are it, baby. How many different iterations of that lesson can you think up? Because I can think up a lot. And you know what? It looks kind of like this. But what if you decide now, second week of January, wait a minute, I'm it. I don't know. Let's look at the extended and see. I love you. I'll be right back. Oh, by the way, the link to these gorgeous rings that are now available also for international shipping is down below. Let me introduce them. I haven't been introducing them because we were swamped with orders and I didn't want Carolina to be overwhelmed. Carolina is my best friend. I've known her since I was 7 years old. We went to grammar school together. We still live in the same neighborhood together and she's lovely. She is a Virgo, in case you were wondering. I started wearing these rings a few years ago and you guys expressed an interest in them. And so I linked up with the Danish designer who made them and designed them for her shop. And she has decided to make a version, an iteration of them for me. This one being green onyx, pure silver coated in 18 karat gold, and is called the Empress. This one is also pure silver coated in 18 karat gold. Actually, this one is not coated. This is coated in something else just because I wanted to try it. Sorry, this is one of my samples. This is the actual. And this is a African amethyst, and it is called the High Priestess. All right, so the link to these is below, and the link to the London satsang is below. Don't tell me later that you didn't know I was coming to London in March, because I'm telling you right now, because y'all be funny. I'm telling you now, I'm going to be in Miami in February. I'm going to be in London in March. The Miami tickets are not up yet. The London tickets, there will be a link below. All right. Inshallah, all that. I'll see you in the extended right now. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your extended. Man, what a heavy reading, huh? So the Three of Swords up there. And this confirmation here. Even the things that are super painful, even the deceptions that completely rock your world, are just another opportunity. Another open door to abundance. That seems like a very strange concept, and so I think we should spend a moment on it. So, Ace of Wands is something that happens that you just think, wow, that came out of nowhere. What a great opportunity. Can you believe that just fell in my lap like that? Seven of Swords and the Tower are realizing a truth about someone or something, or some desire of one's own, that makes it quite impossible for things to stay the way they are. Hold on one moment while I ask my Gemini sun to keep it down.